You're welcome back to Joy News Prime. It's time for Joy News Interactive, and Aisha Ibrahim joins me again in the studio. We're going to delve into what you've been saying to some of the topics that we have posted on our social media sites.
You said it right, Araba. It's time for the big chat. You're wondering where to join? It's on facebook.com/joynewsontv. On Twitter, it's on Joy News on TV, and on WhatsApp, the number is 0560-800,000. Please don't call. Just send a message. Let's have a beautiful conversation. All right. So, businessman Alfred Woyome has denied allegations of a new contract between himself and government. Pressure group Occupy Ghana this week accused government of entering into an 8 million contract with Mr. Woyome despite his reluctance to pay the debt of 51.2 million Ghana cedis owed government. Question: what do you think about this accusation and counter accusations? Should Ghanaians be worried about this new development?
I don't think the government just got up and said, let me give this contract to Woyome. You know, before a contract is given to someone, we call something competitive bidding. And I think the company might have gone through all those necessary procedures and steps before that contract was given. So in as much as, even though we have the government or the state has issues with Woyome, if the company has the logistics and the accoutrement to undertake that particular contract, then I think there's nothing wrong with it and it's in the right direction.
Unlike my brother, I don't agree. You look at all these Ulabalu scandals that is going around with Woyome's saga. I thought that it would have been prudent if the government waited a bit so that we will know this whole show will come to an end before maybe awarding the contract. They will award the contract. I agree with him though that maybe the government went through the right, the company went through the right process and then they got it fairly enough. That's fine. But you know, with our mentality, that's why we always say the black mentality has a different mindset. A white man wouldn't do this. You know, a white man would wait for the whole case to settle about this company, this Woyome saga issue, and then award a contract to his company if they solely deserve it. But if they don't deserve it, why then do we give them another contract again? So I think that the government has just jumped a bit and then they've just...
Well, the government is made up of people who are intellectual. I mean, they know what they are about. They know what they are doing. And in fact, if the contract awarded to the company of Woyome, probably that particular project that needs to be undertaken by that company, it needs to be undertaken right away. You can't wait, because considering what is going on with Woyome's case and what have you, I don't think the issue is going to end now. And that probably that project too needs to be done right away. So if the government has awarded the contract to Woyome again, and to me, I believe that probably his company fairly deserves the contract. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I believe that the other companies that can also do the same thing that this his company is doing. So why the rush? That is the whole thing. Why the rush in giving him another contract when there's this court case and this hula balloons? I mean, you give people, and you don't want to do that as a government. You give people room for speculations and doubts and those kind of things. It's not good, and you know that we are going to an election year, and so certain things, some of these things, a political party can take it up and even campaign against it on. So I mean, it's really bad for me. I think it's a haste. They should have waited and let this whole labaloo about Woyome thing just go to rest, and then if they deserve it, they fully deserve it. Why not? Let us give it to them so that they do the work.
Okay, so there are a lot more messages coming on Facebook. Arba, what are people saying on Facebook?
Well, let's start with Kwesi Boating Ayipa, who says, you can't play with the current government. Remember when Mr. Amidu said this government will do everything to block the oral cross-examination? We all thought he was making noise, but the result is clear for all of us to see. Any rumor you hear about this government should be treated and tackled with all seriousness. I don't trust this Mahama-led NDC government. So that's from Kwesi Boating Ayipa. Ilyasu Harry Natamale says, the bane of Ghana is that we have a government that doesn't listen. As we are yet to recover from the fraudulent payout to Mr. Woyome, government is going into another contract with him. Do we need further proof to kick the government out? Let's be minded, guys, that Mr. Woyome has denied these accusations. So, yeah, let's move on. Intachi One writes, was the contract illegal or legal? Is Woyome criminal not to engage in any contract dealings with the state? What is it? I don't get it. And Nana Kwame Nyame says, mad about it, but have reserved my comments. David Sapong Kumakuma Jr. says, I doubt seriously, I couldn't have thought far if it's true. And Prince Justice right, Ghana will work again. Oh, John Paul Kingstone says, oh, Ghana pa. Was Amido and the rest of Ghanaians blind when the state was paying Mr. Woyome? And what is wrong if he was given another contract? Is the constitution against that? In fact, let's stop talking about unnecessary issues and look for ways to have a buoyant economy. Ghanaians talk too much. So that's from John Paul Kingstone.
Interesting. And this is coming from Olu from Yendi, who says this Woyome issue has been there for quite some time now. I suppose persons concerned should deal and bring it to an end and stop wasting the country's resources, time and energy on just one individual. The rest of the message, Olu, I'll read it later. And this one says, I suggest that those who interviewed have some knowledge about the subject in question. Okay. Well noted. And Aisha, we not good. I don't get your message. You're sending it from where? Please send it again. Oh, Woyome again. Sometimes I just think about how this man's children are copying with having Woyome as their surname. How they're coping, and it's coming from Bambakia Samed, and this one says, oh, Ghanaians should allow Woyome to be. Those are some of the messages. This one says, so does Woyome think he's bigger than Ghana or what? I get mad. I hear, anytime I hear of this stuff, and it's coming from Ofori Boateng, and these are some of the messages. And this one says, I'm with you, Woyome, and it's coming from Chemical. Those are some of your messages. Also, the Lavender Hill fecal treatment plant has been commissioned in Accra. Since the 1970s, the Lavender Hill has been used as a dump site for fecal matter from septic tanks and public toilets in Accra, leading to a very bad stench emanating from the place and posing a health threat to people who reside around the Korle Lagoon. So what's your impression about this fecal treatment plant? And sincerely, do you think people really care about where the fecal matter is dumped?
Yeah, I think it's in the right direction for the Zoom Lion to undertake such an activity or to build such a facility, because people, I have not applied that road or that area, but those living around that area complains a lot with regards to the stench and the way things are, the waste are managed, you understand. So if Zoom Lion has been able to acquire such a facility, I think it will go a long way to help manage the area, and there should be a form of education, and if the education is properly done, the attitudes of Ghanaians and those living around that area, I think, will change.
Well, for me, it is good. Let us applaud them for that. And the main reason why did they put up these plants? I mean, you look at the pathogens and then the antibody, these bacteria that get into our water bodies. These are very, very bad. They find their way into our water bodies, and then they in turn spoil our aquatic animals that live in these water bodies. So building that will find a way, or will be a way whereby we'll be able to keep, manage, and then properly dispose of our waste. If you go to South Africa, they have, I think, 2 that I know of. One in Southern Cape, and then the other one in, I think, I've forgotten, but then they have 2. I know they have 2. So for Ghana, I think this is the first one. This is the first that I've seen in Accra. And so it is good. If we are to build such fecal waste treatment plants all over the 10 regions, I think it's going to go a long way to help us maintained and then have a proper way of disposing of our waste in this country. Moreover, you know, you can build everything, but then if education is not done, I mean, we'll score 0 over there, because we need constant education as Ghanaians. And let me put it this way: that our president once said that we forget things easily. I mean, we easily forget things. So if we easily forget things, I think that the main thing that we are supposed to do is education. Every day, constant. They should be on radio, TV, graphic, everywhere, outdoors, everywhere. They should be everywhere. They should be feasible. We should be able to see them so that we know that, oh, okay, tell them our people in the village. And sometimes, let me put it on record, that sometimes you go to our villages and that place are even more neater or tidier than Accra. Ghanaians wouldn't sincerely care if much education is not given to it.
Some messages are coming on Facebook. Let's check it out, Arama.
Indeed, interesting messages. Aisha Kwesi Boateng Ayipa writes, the thing is called waste, so why should a person be concerned where the waste is sent to? Really, Kwesi, I think you should be concerned. Now, he says, for the plant, it is a good idea. It's only that the NDC will soon come out to say the Lavender Hill is now Washington, D.C. And John Kiki Hammond writes, every developmental project becomes politics. It's good for our country. Let's build Ghana and stop the politics. And Andrew Akwete writes, the president has really done well. God bless him in a special way. So that's from Andrew Akwete. And Commander Nuhu says, it's a good project, but my concern is that can we maintain it for a very long time? So he's asking that question about a maintenance culture. Poppy Moore writes, I think this project is good and I hope it doesn't get spoiled with all the fees. Oh, Poppy. So those are some comments coming on from Facebook.
Let's hear this one from Kojoda Kwada. He says, well, very welcoming news, nice edifice. Let's just hope it's well managed, but still, Nana Beba. And that's coming from, okay, and this from Fred, Netherlands. He says, this good news to the inhabitants around the area. Ghana stands to benefit a lot from it, right from fertilizer, energy, and the rest. My concern now is management and maintenance. By the way, Aisha, you look... Well, thank you. And this one says, hello, Aisha. I suggest that those people, okay, you're still talking about Wyoming. Philip from Techuman says, hey, joy news. These two goods, are they only people to okay, you're talking about those people who spoke earlier, right? From Take, who he says, I think it's good. It's been a while. We have to stop talking about. Okay, you're still talking about Mr. Wyoming. And this one says, these are projects Ghana needs as immediate solution to our sanitation problems and not the propaganda flyovers. And it's from Ofori Boateng Daniel. This one says, massive project, just hope it's replicated in other regions. And it's coming from Alaji, you see, from Tamale. Okay, and this one is from... All right, so finally, every one of us needs power at a point in our lives. This could be because we want to influence a situation in one way or the other. My golden question, if you had all the power in the world, what would you change?
I would have changed so many things, especially including our way of life. Making life easier enough for us, I mean, is very important, especially the movement of how we work and other stuff which will help develop the country. I think that's what I would use the power for. And someone will ask what kind of, what specific kind of thing I'll use the power for in making work effective. It should be based on, building or coming up with so many machines, which will be of a very good importance to the country.
I would change the less privileged in society, because I'm someone that has gone through a situation whereby I had to, live in some bit of poverty before, so I know how it feels like. More especially those who sell on the street, young children who sell on the street. I have sold on the streets, and I know how miserable, how terrible, how, I don't know. Sometimes you see your friends going to school, you're not going to school, they are selling, they are not buying, people are chasing you. That, oh, Charlie, it's a whole lot of mess, and I would like to change their fortunes, give them a better place to live, educate them, put a smile on their faces. Like, I just want to make sure that I see such people smile, and most especially women.
If I'm given the power, if I have the power, there are two things I'm going to do. The first thing, I'm going to abolish religion, especially the two major religions, Christianity and Islam. Then the second one, I'm going to eradicate suffering, because if these two major religions are no more, I think that humanity will be at peace. And
Okay, there are some messages on Facebook, but let me ask you this. If you had all the power, what would you want to change?
If I had all the power, I wish I had the power to change how people think, so that people would think in the same way and not think about fighting, but rather doing good for the other person.
For humankind.
Yes, there'll be no wars, and we'll all
We'll
be
live
heaven on earth.
in the peaceful.
Yes, anyway, let's
That's
go to
great.
Facebook. And Kwesi Boating Ayipa, good evening to you. You've been very regular with your comments. And he says, I will change John Dramani Mahama, change the NDC party, and change the entire leadership of Ghana. Also, I'll change all the pastors in this world. They are equally like John Mahama, always after money and their well-being. Ghana is a Christian-dominated country, but yet full of corruption and crime. So it tells you pastors have failed. Well, that's quite strong, Kwesi Boating Ayipa. Judicious Odro Eric says, I will change money into leaves for everyone to get his share. Abdul Razak Zach says, I will pick John Mahama from the seat of the presidency and put him aside. Hey, what has John Mahama done to you? And Anom Kwejo Martin says, I'll be very grateful to change every president who dare takes Ghanaians for granted like JM. Oh. Francis Trump writes, I will compel all Americans to come and live in Ghana and let all Ghanaians take their place in America so they will develop better Ghana for us. Interesting one there. And Leslie Bever says, I will close down radio stations like Joy FM. They are like the Church of Laodiceans. Hey, that is quite serious, Leslie.
And
so those are some interesting comments.
Laboni from Boako, he says, I will educate the political illiterate. And this one says, whatever manipulation this Wayome issue, oh my goodness, still talking about Wayome. We've moved on. It says, since JM failed to pay my back pay, teachers will massively vote against him. I'm sure that's what you want to do if you had the power. If I have power, I'll do anything to marry.
To marry who?
To marry Aisha, that's what he says. If I was having power, I would have changed President Mahama because he can't think far. Really? Okay. And this one says, I will change President Mahama to be humble like Nanado, and Ghana will be peaceful. And it's coming from Ofori Boateng. This one says, I will take away gender. I'm sure you wanted to say gender inequality, because what you wrote here is, I will take away gender equality. Is that what you want to say?
It depends on who is coming from.
I don't think that's what you really wanted to say. Like, seriously. Malik from Nkoko says, if I had power, I would have changed the entire leadership of the major political parties into trotro drivers. You wish. You wish. And this one, with the power, I will change the black mentality, and it's coming from Kojo. Let's now check the picture for the day, and it's on your screen.
That is our very own Ekuma Mama Zimbi.
Oh my goodness.
Of Adum FM.
This has gone.
And that's a trademark. It's
yes.
But I think this takes the cake.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of her headgears,
and
but this takes the cake.
This is lovely. It's lovely. Lovely because it also carrying the colors of the Ghana flag. And I think it signifies peace.
Well, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
It is quite
and
interesting.
It's very beautiful.
Yes.
And that will be it for the interactive segment. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. It's a Friday. Have fun. But hey, don't do what I wouldn't do.
And I'm Araba Kumsin. Join us same time next week for all our programs. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.
This is Joy News Prime.